Coach, we'll start with you. In your first year at the helm of the Tartans, the program put together a historical run, finishing 11-1, advancing to the second round of the NCAA championships, led the program to its seventh perfect regular season, and a program best with the 11 wins. Can you touch a little on the historic season and what it means for the future of the program?
Yeah, a lot of different emotions. Surreal was kind of the beginning of it all, but exciting. It was a fun year. Our guys loved practicing. They loved competing, which made every day enjoyable. And I think that that's the key to it all is kind of like what Braden said, taking that one day at a time mentality. That's how our guys were. And it was really fun. But also understanding, and very similar to when I sat here last year, last year's last year. The past is our foundation, but the second we start getting all nostalgic about what we've done in the past and rest on our laurels, that's when we'll let up, and that's when losses come. So we're excited and we're prideful of what we've done, but we also have to understand that it doesn't matter. And all that matters is our first game on September 2nd versus Geneva, and preparing our team in preseason to have the best product we can that first game, and then taking it one game at a time.
Okay. Besides the success on the football field, the Tartans excelled on the field as well in 2022 with a team GPA of 3.49 and 5 players being selected by the College Sports Communicators as academic All-Americans, the most for the program in a given season, as well as now having 66 total, the most in Division III, and third among all of college football across all divisions and NAIA. What does this mean to the program?
It's the most important part to me. I mean, to be honest, we say it with recruits, we say it with our guys. We treat them like gentlemen. We make sure that academically they're fit. The football will take care of itself. Nothing gives me more pride than being able to send out that email at the end of the fall semester and then the one after the spring of our team GPA and the breakdowns of who had what. And that's what we're here for. This is still higher ed. That's what we're here for. And, we all are Division III people in this room. We know not everyone's going to make the NFL and get paid. And so making sure that we're keeping that in the forefront of how we're developing our young men is really important. In terms of the academic All-Americans, of all the awards and all the notoriety from last year, by far the best phone conversations I get to have when that comes out, Mark Fisher, our SID, lets me know it's coming. I reach out to those guys before it's public to tell them that, that they've really hit kind of the pinnacle as not only a player but academically, especially when you consider how many Division III programs there are and student athletes. It's a huge honor. And being able to recognize them in our Football Hall of Fame outside of our locker room, that they're forever up there on that wall as a part of that 66 is really amazing. And it's why I do what I do, and it's why I came to Carnegie Mellon, because I truly believe you can have the best of both worlds and have guys that care a lot about their academics but still care a lot about football.
Okay. Coach, how are you and your staff approaching the start of the 2023 season after putting together one of the most successful years in program history? And what areas do you believe will be the strength of your team heading into the season?
I don't think our preparation really changes. I think that if we all of a sudden think that we're going to do things like differently, and we still have to go one game at a time. I think what excites me when you talk about strengths of the team is our maturity. We played a lot of sophomores and juniors last year that are now seniors and juniors. So that's definitely a big strength. Our maturity, what I saw in the weight room and then out on spring practice as we've kind of kept building this is really, really exciting. We're always looking at ways to get better. All 3 phases, you have to. You always have to be looking at different ways. And I do think, I'd be remiss to not talk about how strong our defense has been. We have a top 10 defense 2 years in a row. They're a strength. They're a lot of ways the backbone of our team. But that also pushes our offense to get better every day. And that, I think we saw that in spring. Our offense got better because of that ebb and flow of competition in practice. And so I'm excited for us to still keep our mentality of just one game at a time and a 1-0, but also the maturity of this group and guys like Ben kind of taking over a lot of that leadership and taking over a lot of the lead on how we do what we do and why we do it. So that I don't have to be the one driving that as much as they are.
You've already touched on Ben and his leadership, but talk a little bit more about him, the importance he has on your receiving cores as well as the offense after the graduation of Chris Hughes, one of the top receivers in program history.
Yeah, I think at times last year, Chris was a great player. He's, most touchdown catches in school history. But I'm excited to to see this receiving corps. Ben's a great leader. It's a big reason why he's here. He's an academic All-American. He's, an all-conference type of player. He's Navy ROTC. He's a living embodiment of what we want our program to represent. And so I'm excited to see his leadership first and foremost in the receiver room. But with guys like Ethan Reefer, Dom Voiland, Cave, we've got some guys that have played a lot in that room. And as much as we love Chris, I think we depended on Chris a lot. And seeing the group kind of take over that responsibility together will be really good for our offense in many ways.
Okay. Thank you, Coach. And now, Ben, a few questions for you. Can you touch on the experience you had as well as the team following a year where the Tartans captured back-to-back PAC championships and advanced the second round of the Division III NCAA football championships?
Yeah, we were just grateful to have such an amazing season, grateful to be together after the tough way our season 2 years ago ended with the game getting canceled due to COVID. And we're just grateful to be able to play the game. We had guys step up throughout the course of the season, especially during preseason. We had some injuries at key positions, and we had lots of guys step up. I mean, we had Will Bauma, Matt Hegai, Jacob Bayer, Will Squibb, Tyler Tackage, all at the running back position before the season even started. They all were consummate teammates, and they stepped up and they sacrificed their personal pride and ambitions for the greater good of the team. And I think that was sort of what set the tone for what went on to be an amazing season. We were very fortunate to have great leadership from some guys who've graduated, Ty Spathold, Stan Bellardi, Chris Hughes, Zach Martins, Quinn Murray. All guys that I consider myself very fortunate to have played with and to have learned from. And while their contributions might not have been recognized by everybody on the field, they can be secure in knowing that they left Carnegie Mellon better when they left than when they got here. And I think we were all just grateful to, like I said, be together and be able to play the game.
Okay. What is the level of focus and attitude heading into the 2023 season following spring practice and off-season workouts?
I think, like Coach mentioned, not much has changed in our preparation and the way we approach it, but I would be remiss to say that it wasn't a prove-it year for us. I think the past 2 years we weren't expected to really amount to anything, and so I think this year we know and we expect that we're going to get everybody's best, and we respect that. We respect every opponent equally, and we're excited for that opportunity to be able to go best on best against every one of our opponents, starting with Geneva.
Last season, you were second on the team behind Hughes in receptions and receiving yards, and you were named an academic All-American by the College Sports Communicators. You've talked about the team side of things. How are you planning individually to build off a very successful 2022 campaign?
Absolutely, yeah. I was very fortunate to play with Chris, friend, roommate. I learned a lot just from observing the way that he approached the game week in and week out. And so moving forward, I'm just going to be able to control what I can control, and so that starts with making sure I'm prepared, health-wise, mental-wise, and then I'm really excited just to be there for guys in the locker room and try to be able to support all the guys on the team, and I think everything else will follow.
Final question, what does being a Carnegie Mellon University football player mean to you?
I think it's a tremendous environment where you have a healthy level of intense competition, and I think that's evidenced by some of the players we have, the Corey brothers, Bobby and Tommy. Each of them, they're working on different coasts at the same time as preparing for the season, doing great things in engineering. We have guys on Wall Street every year who somehow find ways to work those long hours and also come to preseason camp ready to go. And so I think it's that environment where there's that healthy level of intense competition where guys who are where other guys want to be, they don't sit on their laurels and say like, oh, like I'm here and you're not. It's all about how can we get everybody to the top. And I think that culture has been set by the previous regime with Coach Lackner, and it's been continued by Coach Larson's staff and just the great guys that we've had come through the building every year.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ben. Thank you again to Coach Larson. Carnegie Mellon will begin the 2023 season on September 2nd at Geneva College. Thank you again, Ben.